If you haven't heard, shortly after the war, the genocide in Gaza kicked off, there was an article in 972 magazine that had this unbelievably good and grim reporting about this program Lavender that Israel was using to target Hamas militants, but also ensnaring Palestinian civilians in their kill chain. And so this was an AI powered kill chain, killing some Hamas militants, but it was also killing a lot of civilians. And there was a margin of human civilian death that was like pretty egregious. New York Times just reported about the exact same program, the order to use Lavender, AI targeting of Hamas militants. Last year, I gave a lecture about this Lavender program, how to think about this AI on the battlefield in Gaza, how grotesque it is. This is from the 972 reporting about it last year. So if Lavender decided, this is how the system works. If Lavender decided an individual was a militant in Hamas, they were essentially asked to treat that as an order with no requirement to independently check why the machine made that choice or to examine the raw intelligence data on which it is based. And so at 5 a.m., the Air Force would come and bomb all the houses that we had marked through the Lavender program, right? We took out thousands of people. We didn't go through them one by one. We put everything into automated systems. And as soon as one of the marked individuals was at home, he immediately became a target. We bombed him and his house. And this is one of the ways that it's so easy to ensnare civilians, because if a Hamas militant goes home to his family and you've marked him as a Hamas militant in the Lavender program and you've marked his house as his house, then you bomb the house when he's there, even if there is collateral damage, right? So the Lavender program, it is a systematized way, an automated way to do mass killing. It functions as a way of creating distance from the kill. It nominally removes human judgment, which makes mass killing easier. It accepts an error rate, and the error could be as high as like 10%. It's unclear. Huge problem, right? And it's marked just in the last like year, 2 years now. It marked some 37,000 Palestinians as suspected Hamas militants. Most of them, and then when you mark them, it means they're going to be assassinated. Most of them were junior Hamas militants. And so what the Lavender program has enabled, like it used to be too expensive and manpower intensive for the IDF, Israeli Defense Force, or Israeli intelligence to go after individual Hamas militants who were low level, corner boys, the equivalent, the militant version of like corner boys. You're not going to use a bunch of resources to try and deal with those lower level people. Well, with the Lavender program, you can just go after everybody and it makes it easier, which means more killing. So this is another quote from the 972 piece. It says, quote, "The idea of causing mass devastation to civilian areas for strategic purposes was formulated in previous military operations in Gaza. According to the doctrine, in a war against guerrilla groups such as Hamas or Hezbollah, Israel must use disproportionate and overwhelming force while targeting civilian and government infrastructure in order to establish deterrence and force the civilian population to pressure the groups to end their attacks." This is fucked, okay? What they're talking about, Israel has its own like pet theory of deterrence, or it calls it its theory of deterrence, which is called mowing grass, mowing the lawn. And the idea is that from time to time, you have to go on the offense and actually kill militants, kill terrorists, even before they attack you, not just in retaliation. The various journals of strategic studies, they outline in very technocratized, intellectualized detail why they think it's logical to go on the offensive against the enemy. Going on the offensive against the enemy, but framing it in terms of deterrence and framing it as this thing that they're doing for their self-defense, We call it defense, but yes, it actually involves a genocide of another people on its own terms. This doesn't make sense. Look at Israel's security situation. Is Israel more secure? It's the least secure state in the world. There is no state more besieged, more like surrounded, more isolated in world opinion than Israel. And they've caused it for themselves. They did this. They made the bed that they are responding to. Mixed metaphor. They made the bed that they're sleeping in, but they caused this situation where they are the most insecure nation on earth. They're doing things. Mowing the lawn creates new militants. New militants creates new confrontations, new sources of friction, new terrorist events. Guess who benefits from that politically? Fascists, the far right, Bibi Netanyahu. Militarism benefits reactionaries politically. Militarism makes you less secure. Militarism serves nobody except for certain sections of capital, like defense industrialists and the politicians who get fucking paid by them, which is disproportionately right-wing politicians.